Hi everybody! Happy spring! We are here in this beautiful ancient forest in Sweden, enjoying this beautiful brook and the green. The snow has melted away, and we're thinking of Lalleshwari. This week we're going to explore poet Indian saint Lalleshwari and the power of her words from her practice, her deep devotional practice of yoga. So grab your stuff and I'll see you on the back. Hello everybody, welcome back to Yoga and Women Poet Saints. So today, I would like everybody to have a chair for our practice. We're going to use a chair and also a blanket. I have my blanket here I'm sitting on. So you want a little thicker blanket, or you can even use a thick towel. And that's going to help support us in our posture later in the practice. We're going to do a Halasana or Plow posture. We're going to use the blanket across our scapula and shoulders here, right to the edge of the shoulders to help support the neck and reduce any possibility of compression in the cervical vertebrae. So you can have the blanket next to you for the practice, also the chair. You can grab that, have it nearby. So we have it for the end of practice. So let's take a nice comfortable posture. Feel rooted in the sit bones on the earth. And let's bring our awareness to our breath. You can let your eyes be soft or close your eyes. And we'll take a couple of grounding breaths. Starting from the lower belly, you can even take your right hand to the lower belly, filling the lower belly all the way to the top of the lungs. And as you exhale, blow it out like you're blowing out candles. So let's do a couple of rounds of this. Deep inhale, filling lower belly, top of the lungs, and then pause for just a moment. And then exhale long, blowing out candles. So do a couple more breaths like this in your own rhythm. Let's do 3 more, and then we'll come to a normal breath. Coming to a normal breath, let your eyes remain soft or closed. And I'm going to read a poem. We're going to listen to the words of Lalleshwari, a poet saint from the 14th century from India. Lali's words. She said, "Day will disappear into night. The ground's surface will expand outward. The new moon will be swallowed in eclipse, and the mind in meditation will be completely absorbed by the divine void or space inside of it. The mind in meditation will be completely absorbed by the divine space inside." Let's just take a moment and sit with that, the mind absorbing into that divine space inside. Just be open to that possibility. Don't even think about it. Just being open to the mind absorbing into that divine space inside of you. And how does that divine space feel? Is it full? Is it joyful? Is it quiet? Is it still? So bringing our hands in front of our hearts, connecting to that divine space inside. We'll take a deep breath and we'll chant one Om. Inhale. Slightly bowing your head towards your heart, softening into that divine space. The mind pouring itself into that divine emptiness, space inside. Set an intention for yourself for your class. What is the quality of that divine space inside? Or what would you like it to feel like? Is it deep peace? Is it joy? Whatever it is, set your mind to that with your intention. Tether it. Tether the mind. Tether your thoughts to your heart, to that divine space. Inhale, let's open up the eyes. So we're going to start on all fours. So let's come onto our hands and knees. Spread the fingers, root the palms into the earth. Knees under the hips. And let's begin with a little bit of cat and cow. Inhale, softening that divine space towards the earth, gently lifting chin. Exhale, push hands into the earth and arch the back. Draw chin into the chest. Press hands into the earth. Inhaling, softening towards the earth. Exhaling, expanding in the back body. Just envision that you're expanding to the sky. Inhale, softening the heart to the earth. Exhale, expanding. Inhale, softening. Exhale, expanding and drawing the hips back to the heels. Hands walk forward, palms are on the earth. Inhale, lift the chin. Press palms into the floor, lengthening from the tailbone to the crown of the head with a deep inhale. And exhale, forehead to the earth. Stay here for 2 breaths. Deep inhale, long exhale. Inhale and walk the hands over to the right. Lengthening the spine and exhaling, softening. And let's walk the hands over to the left. Lengthen and soften. And let's walk the hands back to center and let the hips come all the way to the heels if they aren't already. And we'll come into a child pose. Let your hands rest beside your body to your sides. Maybe your hands grab your heels if that feels good for you. Noticing the breath. Just watching whatever thoughts come in and out. Just let them be. If you like, you can tether your thoughts to your intention or with the breath and so hum. Whatever it is that draws you deeper inside to that divine space within you. I love how Lolly talks about the new moon dissolves into an eclipse. And in yoga, we often think of the mind as the moon. Eclipsed by love. So press the hands into the earth and inhale, lift the chin and rise up nice and slowly. We'll come back to all fours. So lengthen through your side bodies as you draw the shoulders up by the ears. Walk the knees back a little bit. So they're just a little past, little behind the hips. And we're going to inhale and come to our first downward facing dog. Spread the fingers, claw the earth, and lift up onto the toes with the knees bent. Bend the knees, really exaggerate the bend in the knees and stick the hips up to the sky. Lift the chin and gaze in between your hands. Now lift the shoulders up by the ears. Deep inhale and exhale, push hands into the earth as you pull the hips back, bringing the head in between the arms, creating a nice length in the spine. So I want you to try to keep this dip in the lower back. That's why we have our knees really bent here. Inhale into the back body. Exhale, lengthen through the spine, pulling the hips back a little more. Beautiful. So let's straighten the right leg, drop the heel, and then straighten the left leg. We're going to walk the dog here. Do it at your own pace. Come up on both toes again, bend the knees. Inhale, lift the chin, gaze in between your hands, and we're going to walk towards our hands. Feet are inner hip width apart. Take your hands to your shins and inhale, lengthen through your spine. And exhale, bow forward. Inhale, press hands into the shins and lengthen through the spine. Exhaling, bowing forward. So inhale, take hands to your hips, bend the knees, and lengthening from the heart up to the crown of the head. Let's come standing. So we're going to come standing at the middle of your mat. Feet are inner hip width apart. Going to take our hands in between the thighs and going to press the thighs into the hands and resist and bend the knees and lengthen forward, kind of like a skier here. Some of you have done this with me before. So we're creating a shins in and thighs out. This helps to open up across the pelvic region, helping to relieve in the lower back. So inhale, lengthening through your spine. Exhale, let's bow forward, straightening the legs as much as you can, but keep your hands resisting. So your hands are pressing into the thighs and the thighs are hugging to the midline towards your hands. So we're creating this widening across our lower back. So inhale, lengthening through the spine and sit back again. Hands keep pressing on the inside of the thighs. And we'll do that again. Inhale, bow forward. Exhale, sit back into chair posture. Keep the hands active. Inhale, bow forward. Exhaling, sit back. Now inhale, come forward, release the hands to the earth, or maybe the hands come to your shins. So you're going to walk your hands over towards the right and bend your left knee. Root the right foot into the earth. Maybe your hands are on your shin like this. Maybe you can't come to the floor. That's all right. Walking the hands over to the right, bend the left knee. Come back to center. Walk hands over to the left and bend the right. Your opposite knee. Bend the opposite knee here. The knee, you're bending the opposite knee to the direction of your hands.
And let's walk the hands to the other side and bend the opposite knee. And let's do that one more time. Hands the other side and bend the opposite knee. Come back to center. Bend knees, hands to the hips. Inhale, rise up. So let's walk our feet a little wider here. So we're going to work on hips and spine and shoulders and heart, helping to prepare us when we go into our shoulder stand in Halasana a little later. So hands to the hips. Let's just take a couple of back and forth, some lunges. And come back to center. We're going to bend the knees and come scoop down to the earth and inhale, rise up. Moving with the breath in a way that feels good for you. Really focusing on your breath here. Last one. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to your hips. So let's bring our feet back together. So you're going to take the right leg over to the left and stretch the left arm up and over for a big, beautiful stretch in the whole left side. And let's come back. Left leg over to the right and extend the right arm up and over. Big stretch. Come back and we'll do that again. Right leg over and stretch the left arm. Come back. Left leg crosses over. Stretch your right arm up and over. And let's come back. So let's take a nice wide stance again. Your feet are facing forward. Your feet as parallel as possible. And we'll inhale, open up the arms. Exhaling, bowing forward. Inhale, lengthen through your spine here. And now walk your hands over towards your right foot. Inhale, lengthening. So try to feel this whole stretch in the whole left side of the body. Exhale, softening over towards the right. Your head going towards the right knee. You don't have to bring it to the knee. And let's walk our hands over towards the left. Inhale, feel this whole big stretch in the right side of the body here. And in exhaling, softening, head coming towards the knee. And walk the hands back. Root the left hand into the earth and let's twist and open up to the right. Keep both feet pressing into the earth. So let's bend the knees here. Try to create that dip in the lower back while we're in this posture. So to create more length in the spine and twist. Beautiful. And place the right hand on the earth and twist over to the left. Knees are still bent. Trying to create that dip in the lower back, twisting. And if you can try to keep length in the spine, you can straighten the legs. Beautiful. Come back. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, fold forward. Maybe the top of the head comes to the floor. Maybe it's just the hands. Take a couple of breaths here. The heels are pressing away from each other as if they're trying to tear your mat into two, creating more space in the lower back. So let's bend the knees, walk the feet in a little closer together, hands to the hips and rise up. Beautiful. So let's come standing to the top of our mat. Feet are inner hip width apart. Let's take the arms up overhead. Deep inhale, long exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, bring hands back by the feet. Take the right foot back for a lunge. Drop the back knee. And we'll stay here for a lunge. Deep inhale. And then exhale, root the right hand into the earth. Lift the back leg and we'll open up for a twist. And let's come back down. And let's switch legs. Come to a plank. And bring the left foot back and the right foot forward. Drop the back knee. So let's stay here for a couple of breaths in our lunge, feeling the hips softening to the earth as we lengthen up from the tailbone to the crown of the head. So root the left hand into the earth, lift the back leg, inhale, twist from the belly, and open up and expand from the heart out. Shoot energy out your back heel and release. So let's take the right foot back. You can either come to plank or you can come to your knees. Whatever is best for you. We'll lower down to the earth. Extend the right arm out and we'll roll over to the right for a deep shoulder opening. Left leg up and bring it back behind the right leg if possible. As we move a little deeper into the right shoulder here, your head rests on the mat and breathe. Deep inhale, long exhale. Okay, let's come back onto the belly. Extend the left arm out. Palm is on the earth. Roll over onto the left. You have your right hand bracing you in front. So you can stay here as you move deep into the left shoulder. If you want to go a little deeper, you can take the right leg up and bring the foot behind you, and you'll feel yourself move deeper into the posture. And breathe. Drawing the breath. Remember where you bring your awareness, the breath will follow. Drawing the breath towards your shoulder. Exhaling and opening. Breathing out any tightness or tension. You can blow it out like you're blowing out candles. And let's come back. Press hands into the mat. Let's just stretch back here to a puppy posture. Press hands into the mat, lift the chin, pull the hips back, and then take the forehead to the earth. And breathe. So come back, we're going to come onto our bellies. Let's come into a Shalabhasana Variation. Extend the hands behind. So you can have them reach back or interlace fingers if you can, and draw shoulder blades onto the back, and then extend the legs out. So from the heart out through the crown of the head, and from the pelvis out through the toes. Breathe, lengthen and lift a little more, and release. Take the right cheek to the chin, and take a breath here. Deep inhale. Long exhale, softening. Let's take the hands underneath the shoulders and we'll come up for a cobra. Tops of the feet press into the earth. From the core of the pelvis, lengthen up through the crown of the head. Come into your cobra. Deep inhale, long exhale, and let's come back. We'll come back to another downward facing dog. And if downward facing dog's too much for you, you can come to all fours. So this time, make your feet as wide as your mat. Bend knees and press your hands into the mat. Lift your chin and lengthen through the spine as you pull the hips up and back. Keeping the integrity in your torso. Shoulders lifted, hands pressing into the mat. And now begin to lower the heels towards the earth. They don't have to come to the earth. Coming towards the earth. Beautiful. Opening up the backs of the legs. and breathe. Come down to your knees. So we're going to use our blanket. I'm going to use this for Halasana. I'm going to take the heels to the blanket. So you can have it rolled or you can have it folded, whatever is the best height for you. And we're taking our heels, first we're taking them wide and bringing elbows inside of our thighs here. So once you have the posture, bring your hands together. Inhale, let's roll our shoulders up and back. We're looping the shoulder blades onto the back. Now, I like to use the blanket here. I'm sure a lot of you don't need the blanket, but I want you to feel heavy in your hips. So even lift your toes a little bit, kind of curl the toes up, get heavy in your heels, really root in your hips here. Shoulder blades up and back. And also with the blanket, it helps us to create more length in our spine. And now bring your awareness to the pelvis. So just imagine this sacred bowl. You're holding it. And as you take a deep breath in, filling that air with golden light. Filling that bowl, that sacred bowl, at the base of your spine. As you take a deep inhale, you can close your eyes here or let your eyes be soft. Filling the sacred bowl and drawing the prana and filling this bowl with golden light. Rooting into the earth. And then this light, just like we fill the cup, it begins, it fills the bowl, and it fills all the way up to the crown of the head. And your legs are pressing into your elbows, and the elbows are pressing into the knees. So you create this strength and integrity in the pelvis area, and also strengthening and opening deep into the hips, to the hip joints. Okay, so we have a couple options here. If you want to take your hands forward and round forward, you can. Or you can keep your hands where you are at in prayer posture. So you can walk the fingertips forward, rounding forward. So if you have your hands on the earth here, you can tilt forward and then walk your feet a little closer together. Maybe you can bring your feet together as we move a little deeper into the posture. And then rounding forward here. So you can stay here or maybe clasp your hands behind your ankles. Whatever's the best option for you here. Take a couple more deep breaths. Deep inhale, breathing, drawing the golden light into that sacred bowl of the pelvis and the sacrum. Exhaling, softening, and fall back a little deeper into your heels, rooting with the exhale. Then opening. So let's release our hands. If you have them bound behind your feet. So we're going to come seated onto our blanket. And make our legs wide. So coming onto the blanket helps to support our sit bones here, helps to support the pelvis and create that healthier dip in the lower back. That's good for our spine and our posture. So to help get that dip in our healthy dip in our lower back, that healthy curve, we're going to do an inner spiral. You're going to start with the left thigh. So take the whole left thigh and we'll spiral the thigh down towards the floor and out. Use your left hand to pull the flesh of the thigh and the buttocks out. And pull your whole buttocks and pull it out. And then you feel rooted more on your sit bone here. Let's do the other side. Pull the whole flesh of the thigh, spiral it down and out, and also the flesh of the buttocks. And if it's too much of a strain in your legs, then bring them closer together. Okay, we're not trying to do a split here. So once we have both sides, inner spiral, we're getting our sit bones back and apart, creating that, you can feel more of a healthy dip in your lower back. Take your hands, tops of the thighs, inhale, press the thighs into the earth. And exhale, lengthening up from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Rooting and grounding here. Feet are flexed, pressing the backs of the heels into the earth. Let's take a couple of breaths here. And the thigh muscles are active, as if you're trying to pull your kneecaps up. You can let your eyes be soft or maybe even close them for a couple of deep breaths. Drawing the breath deep into the golden bowl and exhaling long. Draw your intention deep inside, that sacred space inside of you. Exhale your intention out to the world. Beautiful. So we're going to take our right leg. You can take it from the inside of the thigh here and bend the knee. You're going to take your left foot to meet your left thigh. And those of you that have a strap or a scarf, you can use it. If you don't have one, that's okay. You don't need to. I'm not going to. But if you have one, you can use it if you like. So you're going to take the left hand to the side. Inhale, lengthen up, twisting from the belly here. Take your right hand outside of your left thigh. Left leg is active. Flex the toes. Let's take a deep breath here. Deep inhale. And then exhale, begin to lengthen forward, pulling your heart forward, walking your hand down your left leg. Maybe it grabs the outside of left foot, or you have a strap around your foot, or you have it on the edge of the leg. Deep inhale, lengthening forward, and exhaling, softening into the posture. So wherever you're at, take 2 deep breaths here. Deep inhale, exhale, softening. Take the next breath and direct it into the whole left hip and leg. Deep inhale, and exhale, opening and softening. Rise up. So we're going to take the left leg in. Let's take the right leg out. So we're taking the left foot towards the right leg, coming into Jani Shirshasana. And again, if you want the strap, you can place it around the foot. So right hand to the right side, inhale, lengthening, twisting from the belly. Take your left hand outside of your right thigh. Inhale, lengthen, and exhaling, hinging from the hips. Inhale, lengthening through the heart. Exhaling, softening, walking your left hand down. Maybe it's on the outside of the leg. Maybe it grabs the outside of the foot. Inhaling, lengthening, and exhaling, reaching forward. So wherever you're at, take 2 breaths here. Deep inhale, expanding into your back body, breathing behind the heart, and exhaling, softening into the posture a little more. Inhale, rise up. And we're going to bring our feet together into a Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. So bring feet together, take your hands behind, roll one shoulder back, the other shoulder, press them into the earth, lift the hips up and lengthen up to the crown of the head. Now lower the hips to the earth. Maybe you bring them closer to the feet. So stay here. As we press feet in towards each other, we're connecting to our core energy. We're activating that Muladhara Bandha, the pelvic floor energy as we press feet into each other. Pull up on the pelvic floor into the navel, and then feel the energy move out the thighs through the knees. And next, inhale as you press feet into each other, pulling that energy up, pulling from the pelvic floor up through the abdominals to the crown of the head, and take a couple of deep breaths here, expanding in the heart. Deep inhale, breathing your intention into your heart space, that sacred space within you, and exhaling your intention into your world, manifesting it around you and within you. So let's bring the knees together. And we're going to take out the left leg, do that inner spiral, and the right leg. Let's do the inner spiral, pull the buttocks back and apart. Hands behind, lengthen up through the spine. Walk right hand, left hand behind. Flex feet, press heels into the earth. Pull the muscles above the knees as you activate the legs. Feel the sit bones rooted in the earth. A golden pelvis pressing into the earth, and inhale, lengthen up to the crown of the head. Deep inhale from deep in the belly, all the way to the top of the lungs, exhaling long. Take a couple of deep, intentional breaths. You can close your eyes if you like, pulling it deep into that sacred space within us, filling all the way to the top. Exhaling long. You can breathe it out if you like through the mouth, letting whatever you're holding on to, let it go, blow it out. And we'll bring our right leg in towards the left knee. So we're going to come into a Jani Shavasana on the opposite side again. So it's outer spiral this left thigh, pull the buttocks back, left hand over to the left, right hand outside of the left leg. Inhale, lengthening from the heart. Maybe your hand clasps the outside of your left foot. Maybe you have a strap here, whatever's best for you. Inhale, leading with the heart. Exhaling, lengthening forward. Now hug the muscles above your left knee, pulling the kneecaps up. That's going to help the back of the leg to feel more safe to open. We're using our flexor muscles to be able to open up the extender muscles. Inhale, lengthening, and exhaling. Now maybe you want to round forward here, drawing forehead to the knee, or you're just rounding forward softly to wherever you're at. And if you want to take the left hand, you can grab the other side of your foot, lift elbows up, inhale, lengthen, and now round forward towards the knee. And we'll stay here wherever you're at for 2 breaths. Deep breath, drawing all the way in to the whole left side of the hip, and exhaling and softening, moving deeper into the posture. Next inhale, let's rise up. We're going to take the right hand behind us. We're going to open up to a modified wild thing. Left hand up and over, stretch from the left foot all the way out to the left fingertips, and roll the left shoulder back, opening up in the heart and coming back down. Beautiful. So let's bring the left foot in. We'll come into a bound angle Baddha Konasana. We'll do this right shoulder, left shoulder back, press feet into each other, engage into the core, energy moves out through the knees, lengthen up from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head, open up in the heart. Deep inhale. And on our exhale, let's open up the right leg and take the left foot into the right leg. So right hand over to the right side, lengthening up, feeling rooted into the earth. Left hand on the outside of your right leg, or maybe you grab the outside of your foot, or maybe you have a strap. Inhale, lengthening, pulling your heart forward, and exhaling, coming forward. Now you can take your opposite hand if you like and take it the inside of your foot. Lift the elbows. Inhale, pulling yourself forward, and exhaling, rounding towards your knee, keeping the elbows lifted. Remember to hug the muscles above the knee, lifting the kneecaps. We'll take 2 deep breaths here. Deep inhale, filling the whole back body to the top of the lungs, and exhaling, moving deeper into the posture. Inhale and rise up. We're going to take our left leg out now. Inner spiral left thigh, right thigh. Pull both buttocks back. Press top of the hands into the earth, rooting the sit bones into the earth. Right shoulder, left shoulder as we press fingertips into the floor. Now flex the feet and press the tops of the thighs down into the earth. Inhale, lengthen up. So we have a couple options here. You can stay here, or you can begin to bring your hands forward. Inhaling, lengthening, and exhaling. Maybe you come to your elbows. You also, if you have a block, you can rest on the block in front of you or just on your hands. Inhale, lengthening, moving with our breath here, and exhaling, softening, rounding forward. Inhaling, lengthening, and as you inhale, reactivate the muscles above your knees. Pull the kneecaps up, engage. As you root the thighs, the tops of the thighs into the earth, and as you pull the kneecaps up, you help to open up in the hamstrings and the inner thighs. So we'll stay here for a couple more breaths. Deep inhale. Inhale, think of contracting, pulling the muscles above the knees. Exhaling, softening, maybe rounding forward a little more. Couple more breaths here. Make your exhales longer than your inhale to move deeper into the parasympathetic system. Next, inhale, let's press our hands into the earth and rise up wherever you're at. Let's bring the right leg over to meet the left. And we'll come to a Dandasana staff pose here. Press fingertips into the earth and lengthening up. So you can stay here or press with your hands into the earth, fingertips towards you. Roll shoulders up and back. Lift the hips and point the toes. You can keep chin to the chest or open up the neck and the head back if that's okay for you. And let's release down to the earth here and pull the knees into the chest. Make the knees wide. Let's rock back and forth a little bit. Massaging lower back. Staying connected to your breath. You can rotate the legs, do circles with one knee and then the other. Deep inhale, long exhale. Maybe you tether your mind to your intention, breathing it deep into your heart. I don't know if you, in Swedish, the word tether is something, it's like you tether like a ball and you tie it to a stick, and the tether is the rope. So the ball is like the mind, and to keep it from bouncing from here and there, we use
our intention or whatever mantra we like, or so hum, to tether the mind. And that stick is like the inner self, or like the Sushumna Nadi, that inner pillar of energy within us. So we're tethering it to us deep inside. We're tethering the mind with our intention, drawing it deeper inside to that sacred space. So let's release the feet to the earth. Knees are bent here. So you're going to take the right heel on top of the left knee and let the knees fall over to the left. Take your right hand to the left wrist and pull the arm, your left arm, over to the right. Deep inhale, long exhale, big stretch in the whole left side here. And let's bring the knees back and take the left heel on outside of the right thigh. Let the legs fall over to the left. Left wrist grabs the the left hand grabs the right wrist and pull it up and over for deep opening and stretch in the whole right side. Bringing your awareness to the whole right side of the body, filling that space with the golden breath, and exhaling long. You can blow it out like candles, releasing on that whole side. And let's come back. We're going to take our right heel to our left knee. You can take your hands behind the thigh or on top of the shin. We'll stay here for 2 breaths. Deep inhale, long exhale. Your right foot, make it active. Flex the toes. We're targeting our piriformis muscle here to open up, help relieve ischius or sciatica, because that nerve runs through the piriformis muscle. So if the piriformis is tight, it can create pain down the leg. So releasing, and let's switch to the other side. Left heel on top of the right knee, pulling it in. Deep inhale. Long exhale. See if you can soften the lower back towards the earth. Blowing it out. And release. Now I'm going to take the right leg, interlace hands behind the leg, and stretch the heel up to the sky, toes coming towards you. The thigh presses into the hands. Now you're going to pull the knee in towards the right, towards your right shoulder. Squeeze it in. This is also good for the lymph. Help drain the lymph in the groin. And now you're going to take your right hand on the outside of your right foot, and you're going to draw the knee in towards the floor. So we have some options here. You can keep the knee here or press the foot into the hands and press it away towards the right. And this again is where you can use a strap if you like. So foot is actively pressing into your hands, pulling kneecaps up as you engage your right thigh muscle. And again, it helps to safely open up the whole back of the leg. So bend the knee and bring it back. And place that foot on the earth. And let's inhale and draw the left knee in. I'm going to take the left hand on the outside of the left foot. Draw the knee towards the floor here. And now you're going to take the knee and take your foot towards the left side and go as far as you like, pressing the foot into the hand, maybe straightening it, pulling the kneecaps up. Let's take a breath here. Deep inhale, long exhale. Bend the knee and bring it back. And now extend the left leg up to the sky, clasping the hands behind the legs, stretching the heel up, toes towards you. Beautiful. Release that leg. Glue the legs together. We're going to make an L shape here. Extend the arms out, palms to the earth. So lift the hips and bump them over to the left as we draw the knees over to the right. And the knees are going to hover and gaze over to the left. Come back, bump hips over to the right, and let the knees come over to the left. So they're going to hover, squeeze the legs together, engage with the lower belly here. Try to keep both shoulders on the earth as possible. We have a deep twist here. It's also very good for the core and the spine. And let's come back. Extend the legs up to the sky now. Lift hips, bump them over to the left. So our toes are going to go towards our right hand. They're not going to touch the hand, but they're going towards the hand. Hug the legs together. Try to keep both shoulders the best you can on the earth. And we're going to hover here, hugging the legs towards each other, hugging them to the midline. Don't go as far so that you lose control. Try to stay at a level that you can keep control, strengthening core. We're also strengthening our nervous system. If you find yourself shaking a little, inhale, legs back. Bump hips over to the right. So you find yourself shaking, you're also strengthening your nervous system. So hug legs together, toes come over towards the left hand. Deep twist, try to keep shoulders on the earth, gaze over to the right. Hover, hover, hug to the midline. You got this, beautiful, come back. And release feet to the earth. And release them, release the legs. And just take a breath here. We're not coming to Shavasana yet. Bend the knees. We're going to come into a happy baby. Drawing the knees towards the earth. Deep inhale. As you draw knees to the earth, and exhale, see if you can soften the tailbone, softening the sacrum towards the earth. And release. So let's roll over to one side and come up. So we're going to get our chairs. Those of you that want to use the chair, it's a very nice way to come into Halasana, plow pose. I'm going to get my chair. I'm using kind of a hard chair, a chair that I use for yoga. So I'm placing a blanket on top of it. So I'm first going to demonstrate, many of you have done this with me, but those of you that are doing this for the first time with me, I first would like you to watch and then I'll talk you through it. So my blanket, it's pretty thick, and this is to protect the whole cervical vertebrae, the neck area, so we don't compress the vertebrae there. So my shoulders are going to go meet right at the top of the blanket here. Got to make sure there's no ponytails in the way. And so using our lower belly, we're going to rock. I'm going to rock over, bring feet to the chair. Tops of feet to the chair. And as you can see, my shoulders came down off of the blanket a little bit, so I'm going to walk them back because I want my shoulders on right to the edge of the blanket here. And now it's nice and comfortable with my neck. I don't feel any compression. Feet on the chair. Roll right shoulder and left shoulder back and interlace hands behind. If you can't do that, then you can place your hands by your ribs.
So once you're, if you can, interlace hands, pull them back and just stay here for a couple of breaths. The next stage is to walk your shoulders a little deeper under, go one side and then to the other, and then take the hands to your back. And it's best to walk your hands down towards the shoulders as much as you can, towards the upper back as much as you can, as much as it's comfortable. And then you can take one leg up and take one leg down, take the other leg up and down. And if you want to do both legs and come to a shoulder stand, you can. This is an option. And draw the tailbone. You're going to draw it down and up. I'm drawing my tailbone in. I'm scooping with my tailbone, pulling the abdominal muscles from the lower belly all the way to the top, pulling them up to help create more length in the whole torso. So your toes, you want them to be active. You can point them or flex them. And then you can come down. Some of you may want to try to go deeper and bring your feet to the bottom of your chair. You can bring it inside of the chair, maybe move a little deeper into Halasana if you like. And then some of you might want to bring knees to ears and grab your feet. This is an option, feels really nice. And when you come out, take your hands behind your lower back and slowly pull yourself out, lowering the hips. And then we're going to place our hands underneath the sacrum, extending the legs, top of the head for Matsyendrasana. Pressing elbows into the earth, and this is wonderful to release in the whole spine. And then, once that is done, we're going to come onto our backs, legs on the chair. If you want to have the blanket across your scapulas, it feels really nice. Or you can have it over you. And then we'll rest like this. And this will be our Shavasana. This is wonderful, putting our legs on a chair or up a wall. In the evening, helps to calm the nervous system down, helps to relax restless legs, great for circulation. So many of you are already in the posture. For those of you that are going to come into it now, so your shoulders at the top of the blanket. Beautiful, Clara, and bring the legs up and over onto your chair. So you want to walk one shoulder and then another shoulder under. Your hands on the lower back. That's beautiful, Clara. Your pelvis is beautifully over your shoulders. And you can try doing one leg at a time, one leg up and then the other. So for those of you that have already moved into the posture, you can come into your feet up on the chair or up the wall if you're not using a chair. Beautiful. Beautiful, Elin. You got your hips right there over your heart and your shoulders, pelvis over the heart, over the shoulders. Beautiful. Gram. Ajit, beautiful. Beautiful shoulder stand. Wonderful. I can't see you, Gabriel. I'd love to see what an LA shoulder stand looks like, Gabriel. Or an Order shoulder stand, Camilla. Awesome. Wonderful, everyone. So most of you are starting to come out. And remember, when you come out, come into your Matsyendrasana. And if you feel you need a little more release on
release for your lower back. You can also do a happy baby pose to release a little more, and maybe a twist if that feels good for you before you place your feet up on your chair. Wonderful, Clara. So once you come into your relaxed posture with legs up on the chair or the wall, or you might prefer just coming into Shavasana fully on the mat. You have a blanket, some of you are using blankets. So bring your awareness to your breath. Just noticing the quality of the breath coming in and out. Noticing the quality of your thoughts. Notice if they're any different than when you started class. Maybe you feel a little more grounded or still. I know yoga is to yoke the mind and the body and the heart together. Yoga means to yoke. That's why I like the analogy of the tether, tethering the mind to the heart with the mantra. So noticing your next inhale and your exhale. And let your next inhale draw you deeper inside to that sacred space within you, filling that sacred bowl, the bottom of your lungs. And go a little deeper to the pelvis, that sacred bowl, filling it with golden light with the next breath, all the way up through the heart to the top of the lungs. Exhaling out light. Inhaling your intention into your whole sacred being. Exhaling out your intention to the world, to your world. Inhaling your intention, drawing it from deep inside, all the way up through that golden channel of energy, the Sushumna, to the crown of the head, and out like a golden flower. Continue breathing in beautiful golden light with your intention, and exhaling it to the world. We'll stay here for a little bit longer. The next breath, filling this sacred bowl within you so full that it's flowing out your fingertips. And it's flowing to all the ones you love. Just know that this golden love and light within you is flowing out to others. So the next breath, bend your knees, roll over to one side, and we'll come to a seated posture. We'll sit for just a minute in stillness and close class. Feeling rooted in the sacrum to the earth, filling yourself within with the golden prana, exhaling, softening the shoulders. We'll stay here for a couple more breaths. Now with the next breath, let's open up our hands, opening up our golden hearts. Bring your hands in front of your hearts, sealing your intention deep inside. And we'll chant Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Let there be peace, peace, peace. So let's take a deep breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. From the golden divine space within me to that golden divine space within you, namaste.